Hey, welcome back to the stream, everyone.
Greetings, fellow adventurers, and I hope that you're having a great day wherever you are, and welcome to our Dungeons and Dragons campaign, The Veil of Tyranny, which takes place within our homebrew setting, the Age of Hiraeth. So I would just like to go around our sort of virtual tabletop and introduce everybody. I can start. My name is Gus, and I have the privilege of DMing this session this evening. So maybe let's just tell people our names, as per usual, our names, our character class, and their race. And who would like to kick it off? Jeff?
Hey, I'm Jeff. I play as Breaker, a tiefling barbarian, urban barbarian.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I play Evelyn Adair, and I am a druidic dwarf.
Mr. Rob?
Hi, my name is Rob. I play Aquilus Yuey, a human warlock.
And hi, my name is Dylan. I play Elias Silvermane, an elven rogue.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And we've also got an NPC with us this evening. His name is Tanog. He is a half-orc cleric. Just before we kick this thing off, I just want to say a really big thanks to everybody for being here, of course. And a super big thanks to Mr. Jeff, who has been managing our audio video side and done an awesome job. It's a lot of extra pressure, so big thanks to him and a big shout out.
And I would just like to say thanks to everyone who let me spam them with my visuals. Be like, is this fine? How's this look? Thanks for being patient with me.
You're all good, man. So I suppose something we do before every single session is we decide on roles. We've got 4 roles which we like to decide on. That is the Vault Master, who tracks all of the shared party wealth, the Quartermaster, who tracks the shared party supplies and gear, the Beast Master, who tracks kills and trophies, and finally the Journey Master, who keeps the adventure log and does the mapping. So who is doing what this evening? Who's the Vault Master? I think that was...
Yeah.
Okay.
I will be the Vault Master.
I believe
You were the Journey Master,
I
right,
I
Kelly?
was the Journey Master, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was the Quartermaster as well.
And I believe Breaker was the Beast Master, correct?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that guy. which is appropriate. So, just before we start, there's a few little things to go over. I just want to say to the players that, you know, like in 5th edition, there's the inspiration system. Usually, like the DM would award inspiration, but I would prefer it if you tell me when you think you've done something cool, which you think is, you know, deserving of getting a point of inspiration, and we can chat about it. So I think that would work much better. As everybody now, we're in, what is this, our 3rd session, so there's no new people anymore. You're all veterans now, which means the Age of Hiraeth setting is going back up to its normal difficulty, which is not quite Dark Souls, but it's not far off. So the long and short rest times will be extended to be slightly more realistic. And then there's going to be things like injuries and diseases. So if you take a lot of damage in one go, you could be losing a digit, an eye, a limb, etc., etc. So don't let that happen. Plan ahead and all that good stuff. It is a dangerous world, and the bad guys are trying to win. So if we can go around the virtual table, and why don't you tell me, according to your characters, what happened in the previous session? We can start with Breaker.
So, Breaker, we last left our heroes in the leaving the sewers, and that was just another Wednesday. Breaker really trudging around the sewers, fighting a few baddies. I picked up a few guys. Don't think he really cares much for them yet. Got to see old friend and get really shit-faced, and he's really hungover today.
Okay, and what about Adair?
Adair has met up with odd pairing of people, and we last met the leader of the hunters, or at least not quite the top leader, Sparks. And she is feeling well rested, at least, and has had a strange interaction with someone she's not yet familiar with.
Indeed. And what about Yuey?
Yes, so Yuey got to know the party a bit better as well. Then we together discovered the hunters. That's where Yuey learned of a massacre at the village of Hillway, where Yuey had family. So after hearing this news, Yuey essentially wants revenge, and he's, let's say, provisionally joined the hunters and the party in a sort of quest for vengeance or for answers.
Fair one. And finally, Mr. Elias.
So Elias was glad to have found the hunter's family. Good to see Sparix again. But yeah, talking to Yuey about the massacre that they witnessed kind of puts everything into perspective. And he's reminded of just the gravity of everything and the scale.
Fair one. Okay. So, thank you very much for that. Let's go for it, shall we? So, it is the 16th day of the month of Belas. The air on this day is cool and the wind is gusting. You are standing in the fine establishment known as Grom's Antiquities. The interior of the shop is both claustrophobic and overwhelming to the senses. It is as though every square inch of this place has been crammed full of all sorts of trinkets, baubles, odds and ends. Truly something for everyone. Before you is the dwarf named Grom. He has a permanent skull on it. Perhaps related to a famed dwarven blacksmith you might know, particularly Breaker and Elias. The musty-smelling interior of this place is punctuated with the notes of some sort of incense. Gorm, staring unflinchingly at you, says, "Welcome to my humble establishment. How can I help yous?"
So he, in the last session, he indicated that he knew who we were and where we were coming from. So Elias wants to get down to business and ask him about the forts of Grathmar.
We were also given a dagger and a medallion as a symbol of being a hunter. So I think we've shown that to Grom to try and establish kind of a bit of trust there.
Mm.
So you're showing. So Elias, you're asking him about the fort of Grathmar, and Yuey, are you showing him the symbol, this dagger?
Yes.
Okay. So what specifically are you saying, Elias?
Grom, a mutual friend, sent us to you. We're looking for the forts of Grathmar, and we're told that you know where it is.
So he frowns further, something that you thought like wasn't even possible. He frowns even more, and he goes, "Aye, I remember yous. Yous lot are the pirates. My brother told me all about you," pointing specifically at Elias and Breaker. And he goes, "Aye, got a wee little something for you." And he sort of scuttles away behind the counter, and you see him like produce a small wooden box, and he opens the box, and then he gets a doll out of the box. Then he opens the doll, and then he produces a scroll tube. Then he opens the scroll tube, and he produces a rolled piece of paper from within that, and he hands it to you. Who's taking it?
I'll take it. And I'll say, not pirates. We are transporters.
Aye, pirates. That's what I was told.
Diplomatic.
You have discussions of piracy once in front of a dwarf, and then
So just for context, when Elias and Breaker were in Alterum, they were having a quote unquote. I mean, you tell us. Why don't you tell us?
Elias, Breaker's too hungover for this.
Adair questions Elias. What is he on about?
I can't remember. I think it was mainly Breaker.
Yeah, blame Breaker.
Okay, we were trying to get our old crew back together to get back to smuggling, and we were talking if we were okay about a little bit of piracy here and there. So we wanted to be river pirates. I think.
Just some light piracy.
Light piracy.
But they were
Just
having this
river
quote unquote
pirates.
secret conversation literally next to the guy's shop where he could hear them. And he was like, what are you talking about? And it turns out that this is the dwarf's brother that owns this other fine establishment. So if you have a look at Roll20, this is what he gives you when you unfurl this this parchment. Appears to be some sort of crudely drawn map, scrawled in perhaps charcoal from a fire. So you, Elias, you took this this piece of paper. So what else? What is Yuey and Adair doing at this time?
So Yuey, he's listening in to the conversation. He's also trying to have a look at the wares. So he's looking for essentially reagents for his spells, just to see if Grom might have the kind of items that he would be looking for.
Okay.
Adair also looks as well, and reminds Yuey that he probably still also has the trident that we found in the sewers. I have a sword that I'd like to probably sell or trade, depending on how the system works here.
So you're looking for reagents. This place is packed full of stuff. Like literally every square inch of space that exists within the shop is packed with something. It is completely claustrophobic and just stuffed with things. So give me a perception as you're trying to root through these goods and find a thing. Breaker, do you want to give me a will save? There is a lot of trinkets in this place.
I know.
Adair,
for the perception.
Okay, so you're rooting around. There's all sorts of stuff which you think is just useless junk, and you know it's kind of absorbing your time having to root through all of this.
Adair and Yuey, what are you looking for? Elias is bemused.
So Yuey says, for my arcane arts to reach their full potential, I need material.
Hey. Explain on the arcane arts.
He's whispering. But he believes that Grom is on our side anyway.
Yeah, maybe ask Grom. You don't seem to be having much luck. And Adair and Yuey, I'll spot you now. Don't worry about paying. We'll just take it out of your cut when we start making some money.
Actually, Sparax gave us each a coin pass so that we could equip ourselves properly for the mission.
True.
I thought you were, and that's not where I thought you were going with this.
So, Adair, you said you want to try and sell the sword that you found in the sewers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what is Breaker? Did he give you that will save?
Breaker passed it with flying
Wow.
colors.
He did. So, Breaker, again, there's lots of trinkets in this place, and you're struggling you're like keeping your hands in your. I mean, you tell me, right? We all know what trinkets are like.
He's probably he's too hungover to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like I critically passed, but it's actually that he's just too hungover, and he's like.
You can barely
open his eyes. Yeah.
Okay, so it's absorbing a lot of Yui's time. Do you, as per any social interaction, if you want to use intimidation or persuasion or insight or any interpersonal skills, you must just let me know. So are you going to speak to Gorm and try and sell this blade, Adair?
Yes.
Nice cat. Do you want to give me a will save, please, Adair?
Sure. Let me just quickly jump there. Sorry, how do you which one is the will save?
That'll
Yeah,
be at the top
will
above
isn't-
your skills
Of
or your
this?
saves.
But will isn't a thing, right? If that's what you said, Gus.
It's the top
Yeah.
left.
Yeah, wisdom. Sorry, not will. What am I talking about? Wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, wisdom, not
Top.
will.
Left.
Yeah, just click on your stat, I think, in roll 20, right?
Well, I mean, you might have a bonus to it depending on your class.
Yeah.
But Kelly, it's at the top left above your skills. You'll see a little box that says saving throws. It's like beneath inspiration and proficiency. So yeah, you can just click on wisdom and it'll roll the wisdom save.
So as you the sword is sheathed and it's scabbard, right? And you're trying to put it down on the table because you want to sell it. So you're having a really hard time letting go of the sword. You don't know what it is. You're just struggling to take your hand off of the hilt of the sword.
Man.
We did feel that they were sort of emanating some magical properties.
Yeah. So Adair looks over to Yuey and
My precious.
explains. And explains. I think I have picked up some sort of cursed item, or would you mind helping me out and maybe checking for any sort of arcane influence?
Yeah. Can you sort of give the sword a once-over and try to sort of ascertain what kind of magical properties that sword has?
You can. Would you like to do so in the shop?
Oh, right in front of the person I'm trying to sell it to.
Yeah, maybe actually Yuey will say that it might be worth actually taking the sword with us just to try and sort of understand it before selling it, because it does seem to have some curious properties.
Breaker.
What do you think?
Adair can't deny the feeling of not wanting to let it go, so keeps it.
That is most curious.
So are you still trying to look for like reagents and herbs, Yuey?
Yeah, I mean, I could approach Grom, and again, as fellow hunters, I have a peculiar request that I hope that you can keep to yourself. I'm looking for some very specific items, some of which I hope that you may have in stock. These are, for example, a bit of mica, eye of newt, soot and salt. If you get my drift.
Well, give me 1 wee second. And you see him like go into the back and reach around. So are you looking, does that all come in? Do you want a kit with all of those little items in? Is that what you're after, like a pouch?
Yes, that would be ideal.
Adair sees this happening and shifts in beside Yuey and says, "Make that 2."
Okay, well, he nods and he goes into the back.
Yeah.
So this time, Elias, Breaker, what are you actually doing? What are you actually doing? You're just like standing there with your hand over your face.
And then Breaker starts to fumble forward and like lands on the counter with his head down. And he puts his hand in his pouch and pulls out a trinket and hands it to the dwarf. And says, "What is this?"
What are you handing to the dwarf?
A brass orb with etched runes that Breaker found in the sewers.
At this, as you plonk it on the table, at this point, this dwarvish gentleman has come back and he's got 2 small pouches on the table. He does say that it's going to be quite pricey. These are particularly rare items and ingredients. He would charge you 20 silver pieces per pouch.
Yeah. So in the spell list, it's always like very particular items. So will we just sort of say, unless they're unreasonably expensive, that they would be found in the pouch, or like how specific do we want to go?
Don't go too specific. We can say that it's X number of uses. So just get the pouch. It'll have a bunch of ingredients in. It's pricey. 20 silver pieces is expensive, right? So we'll just play it out as we go along.
With like
basically.
arrow
can-
rules or patch
what-
rules in this case.
Basically something like that. Yeah, we can play that out.
So Yuey, even though it is expensive, this is something that he believes he desperately needs. So he will fork over the 20 silver pieces.
Okay. And what about Adair?
Adair does the same.
Okay. So you're counting your silver pieces and forking it over to Grom, and Elias is busy studying this map, and Breaker slammed this brass orb on the table, making an almighty din inside the shop, like the trinkets shake on the walls even. And he looks at the orb and he looks at you, and he kind of gives you a scowl. He takes your money, of course. He takes your 20 silver pieces each. So if you want to deduct that from your the amount that you got in your character sheet, and then equip yourself with your alchemist supplies. So he looks at this brass orb. What are you actually asking him, Breaker? How much is it worth?
What is it?
What is it? Well, he looks at it and he thinks for a moment. He shakes his head. Don't know. Wouldn't be able to tell you. Looks like a lump of brass to me.
Adair witnesses this and steps in because she doesn't want Breaker to be done in. And can she give it some insight into it?
Sure, give me a roll.
Breaker hands over the orb and then fumbles outside to go puke on the street.
Okay, you make your way gracefully out the shop and expel your stomach contents into the streets. What did you get on your insight, Adair?
19.
You think he might know what it is. He might know a little bit about it, but he probably doesn't know everything about it, if that makes sense.
I see.
He's holding something back.
Adair questions him and pushes him. What do you know? I don't know. Maybe I should roll for if I actually am persuasive or not.
You can make a roll if you'd like to, or you can just tell me exactly what you want to say to this dwarvish gentleman.
I guess Adair doesn't know much about it, so
Yeah, you can make a roll if you'd like to. So, I mean, you've got options, right? You can use persuasion, okay, if you want to sort of gracefully try and get information out of somebody, influencing through social, or you can intimidate, which is threatening, right? So influencing somebody through threat. So it's kind of your choice in terms of which way you'd like to go.
approach. I think persuasion would be more Adair's. Okay, let's. What was the roll for trying to persuade someone?
Just persuasion. So if you roll your persuasion skill.
Oh, is there a persuasion skill?
Yeah.
I am blind.
Breaker, do you want to give me a perception, please, as you step out of the shop? So, Elias, you've spent a really long time looking at this map. You're kind of really studying this charcoal drawing intently.
So actually, can Yuey approach Elias and ask about the or have a look at the map as well?
Yeah, sure. You know this area.
So it seems the fort that it's west of, that must be Repertum, right?
Yeah,
And is that the outline of a river? Maybe. So is it like south of a river, west of Repertum?
Yeah, it looks like it's southwest of Repertum. Seems like there's a ruin along the riverbank, and then it's southwest of that.
And then is that maybe a path from the ruin to the fort, or like a road?
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, there might be an old road.
Yeah. Would Yuey know about this area, because he's kind of west? He is from sort of west of Repertum. Like, would he know what that river might be?
Sure, you can roll me a history if you'd like.
Is this could this be the river that Breaker and Elias traveled on with the hunters?
So the river that Elias and Breaker traveled on went south from the city.
South
18.
from Repertum.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So assuming this map is oriented correctly, as in north is north on the map, it would not be the same river. So what did you get? You got 18, Yuey? Yeah. So you're trying to match this crude map to the reality of the ground, and you think this is literally just the Western Road, the main Western Road, which runs out of the city of Repertum, and actually loops around the mountain range and then heads. If you keep going west, it heads south basically, and loops around into the province where you're from. That's what you think.
Yeah.
So Adair, are you trying to roll persuasion? Did you say? You
Yes. Yes, I
Okay,
did
so you're rolling
already
a 21. So what exactly are you saying?
I'm trying to get information out of him as to the value of this thing, basically, and or it seems like it is more valuable than what he's letting on, or it has some more significance of some sort. So I think Adair would try and suss out what he might know.
Okay, well, you think that so you're speaking to Grom, and you're trying to, like, I don't know, wrangle out of him saying, well, hang on a second, do you really not know what this is? Are you sure you don't know what this is? Is this valuable? Well, hang on a second, how valuable is it to you, etc., etc., right? And he seems to let on that he might know what the etchings on this brass orb say. He lets slip his tongue while you're bombarding him with these questions. So he says that he might know, he might be able to translate this for you, basically. Breaker, when you stumble out the front of the shop, and you are doing your thing in the streets of on the outskirts of the city, as you lift yourself up from being bent forward, you look to your left back to the gate that you came through, and you can see at this point the gate is fully manned. Obviously, when you left, it wasn't. At this point, the guards have posted watch, and it's basically the wall of the city is becoming more fortified. So getting back into the city, you would have to get through these new guards with these silver masks on.
In and out. Okay, noted. Breaker shifts back into the shop.
Okay. So you think this would I mean, if you have a look at the main map, let me drag you across to the main map on Roll20. So if you have a look at Roll20, and we zoom in here, so you think that this maps across quite well to the main Western Road, which leads out of the city. So this sort of area here that I'm pinging at on the map, you think it maps across relatively well to that, between the sort of the section above the letter R all the way through to the start of the mountains over here. So you think it maps the ground somewhere there.
Can you just ping that again?
Sure.
So I
somewhere
relate that to Elias, that information as well. I think it's actually on this on the Western Road to Silver Bay. So possibly if we follow that road when we come on or discover those ruins on the left side, then we're rather close to the fort.
Yeah, there should be a fort on the port side.
Fort on the port.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, port starboard, right? Yeah.
yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
How many days ride would that be? Halfway between Repertum and Silver Bay. What's the distance to Silver Bay?
So if those hexes are around about 30 miles, so about roughly a day's travel. So it would probably take you the best part of about a day.
Yeah.
Comfortable travel to get to that crook in the road.
And then a couple of days to the fort.
I guess Adair sees that Grom doesn't really want to give up the information, so she says to him, "Well, if you're not that interested in it, I'll keep it," and moves away.
So you're taking the orb off the table?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as you do that, you see him get slightly uncomfortable, and he says, "Oh, well, wait just a second there. Perhaps I could give you 50 silvers for it."
Uh-huh.
What are we talking for something so useless?
I look over just to Yuey and make eye contact, hopefully.
You can all see what's going on, by the way. You can. This is a tiny shop, it's claustrophobic, and Breaker, you just come back in, so you can see and hear all that's going on as well.
Breaker busts in and taps Elias and says, "The wedding at the gates, the masked ones that you and Adair spoke of."
Okay, we'll get going soon. Elias's ears definitely perked up at like this transaction that's happening.
Uh-huh.
Can I roll like an insight to see how badly this dwarf is cheating Adair?
Yep, go for it. Make a roll.
I love this. I try and save
welcome to
Breaker from getting
the price is right.
done in.
Yeah. I got a 12 on that insight.
Okay. So you think, again, you all have overheard this, right? So you think that it looks like a lump of brass with etchings on it, right? So how much would that really be worth? You think that the intrinsic value of brass is not that much, so you surmise that 50 denarii would be a reasonable price for a lump of brass.
Yuey, are you gonna check this thing out?
So only in a sense, like, does it have like kind of a magical aura, or is there anything like that you can sort of feel emanating from it?
Writing and stuff on it. It's the only thing I believe.
So do you want to roll Arcana to detect magic?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let me see. 8. So not great.
Well, you don't think that this orb is magical at all?
Yeah. Yuey is like not that interested. It kind of goes like, yeah, maybe you can get a few silver for it.
The dwarf and Adair doesn't want to. She wants to haggle.
You can haggle? What's haggle, like persuasion?
Yeah, persuasion, I'm assuming in fifth edition would be a haggle. You just tell me what you want to do, and we can figure out the rules later.
Okay.
Do you want some help?
Yeah. I kind of
aid
just look over, make eye contact, and there's an agreement there that we want more for it.
Breaker's busy peeping out the windows to just keep an eye out and see what a patrol's like, and get us like a feel for how everyone's moving, just kind of assessing the threat.
Okay. So are you like looking out the door and just like?
Or is there a window?
There's not a window you can open. You'd have to like literally open the door a crack and kind of look out.
Yeah. Let's keep trying to do that, because there must be some sort of formation or patrol system that's going on here. Breaker wants to try to figure that out.
How familiar is Breaker with the Repertum Dominion?
Let's see. Where would that be a history?
Yeah, you can roll me a history if you'd like to. Bearing in mind your background is a swashbuckler, right?
I don't think he was a slave here.
Yeah.
But unless it's like armed forces should still have some sort of formation anywhere. But I'll give you a history.
Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, Adair, and who's trying to haggle with Grom?
Yeah. Do you want me to take points? So I'll roll the persuasion, and then you can also roll to aid me.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we can do is do a skill challenge. Okay.
I think we're gonna try and ask for about 80, and then take it from there.
We do.
Okay, so we can do what's called a skill challenge, right? So you can share the rolls between you as much as you'd like, and the first basically to get to 5 successes will win essentially the bidding, right? And the dwarf's going to be rolling as well. So between you, make as many rolls as divided as how you want. We need 5 successes based on my difficulty class. So start making the rolls, however many rolls you'd like to make each. Breaker. So you know, indeed, that there will be some sort of patrol system. You have no idea their timings, the formation they'll be marching in, how many guards there will be, and what they'll be armed with. You have no idea.
Sure. I think maybe Breaker would make a guess. It's just horribly wrong. And he's very sure of it.
Okay, so how many? Who wants to roll what with this with the skill challenge?
What bonus do you have, by the way? I've got +2. Well,
+6.
okay, yeah, you definitely.
I think we
take
could
majority.
probably
wanna
do a
do
mix.
3?
Yeah, we could probably do a mix of like persuasion and insight, if you're good at insight.
Yeah, I'm good at inside.
Good, go for it.
Okay, I'll do 2.
So again, 5 successes. Yep.
Cool. Jesus Christ. Oh,
I got 2 15s.
nice. So I got a 14, 16, and a 25.
Okay.
And I got 2 15s.
Okay, you're both badgering Grom massively. He's shrinking inside his own skin as this bartering is going back and forth. Yeah, and eventually, so what price are you actually trying to get to here? What do you want to haggle him up to?
Like 100 gold pieces. I mean silvers.
Okay.
Go for
So
it,
you want
yeah.
100 silver pieces.
Yeah.
So eventually he's like, I've had enough. I'll give you 80 and we'll be done with it.
Okay.
Leave me alone.
Hang on a sec.
Hang on.
Breaker
Adair,
gets to Breaker gets to hear of this and he says, "Hey, I said find out what it is, not to sell it."
That's actually what Adair steps in and says she would be open to 80 if on 2 conditions. First, can you tell us what it is? And second, do you have some information on how to get past the guards?
So you're asking about information of this orb, this brass orb.
Yeah.
Okay. So so he basically picks up the orb and he reads what's inscribed on it. And he says, "Lost are ye, the orb finds the way." That's what it says.
What?
Lost are ye,
Lost are ye, the orb finds the way.
the orb finds the way.
Oh fuck. This is actually like what we need to find something.
I'm gonna.
And with this, he slams down a pouch of coins onto the table.
I don't think we want to sell it now.
Sorry, Graham, the deal is off. Can I do a sleight of hand and like grab it from him?
You want to do a sleight of hand and grab the orb back from...
Or like
Right.
whatever
Don't steal
the
from the main merchants.
whatever the dexterity would be.
Gonna get kicked out of here.
And I'll
I mean, have you asked him for it back?
roll
Roll me a sleight of hand.
Okay, no, that's fine. Graham, listen, the deal's off. It break ahead, dibs.
It doesn't belong to you guys.
Yeah.
So Breaker
that's
stepping in and
pretty
saying that it doesn't belong to you two, and the dwarf's got his hand on this orb, and with his other hand, he slammed a pouch of coins, and he's looking around as if to say, "What's going on here? What's the problem?"
Okay, this is where Adair steps back and just lets Breaker deal with it.
I'll drop some coins on the counter. Let's say 20 silvers for the information. We're gonna need that orb back.
So you're giving him 20 silver pieces for that translation, and he's going to give you the orb back.
Yeah.
Okay. So he nods. He takes your 20 silvers. He gives you the orb back, and he takes his pouch of coins and puts it back under the table.
That could have gone worse. Okay, we need to move.
Do you, Elias and Breaker, do you have any transport, or how did you get to Repertum?
Yeah, we've got horses, but we'll need to get you to some mounts as well.
Yep. Would it be best to leave by cover of darkness, or like disguised as merchants, or?
Well, we
I
already
noticed-
added.
As we got here, that there's a lot of gods moving around, like masked gods as well.
Yeah, we added the city. So best just to carry on out of here. Let's see if we can get some horses. There must be some stables around here, and it's just move.
I think it's worthwhile asking what Breaker saw outside.
Breaker's been tracking their formation. He's got it down to a T. How everyone moves.
Okay, never mind.
I would like Breaker to roll, specifically Breaker to roll me a. What's your urban knowledge skill?
That's not a thing. Is it?
Well, whatever your equivalent is, being an urban barbarian.
Survival. It would be survival, isn't it?
Survival, yeah.
Okay. So do you have survival? Is it one of your skills?
Yep. Beautiful.
Breaker does not have any skills today. He is too hungover.
Okay. Well, you are hungover indeed. You're struggling to recall, but you're from slums originally, right? So you at least know that this area is a slum essentially. So you would be at one in this area, so to speak. You could easily blend in with your background.
Yeah, I have the urchin city secrets background, so I do know where my way around the city anyway, and I can get us around quite quickly. So the stables where we parked our horses, they're outside of the city, correct? We're outside of the
on
gate.
the western edge. Yeah. So if you have a look at roll 20,
outside.
Yeah.
Breaker, can you get us to the stables stealthily, incognito?
Yeah, I know the way.
Okay. So you're at this area here where that 2. I don't know how that 2 appeared on the map, but it is on the map. So that's where you are. So you're in that area. The stables are on the western edge as well, but the northwest. The 2 just moved.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here, you 2. And the stables are up in this area here, by Chartown.
Cool. I turn to Adair and Yuey, and I say, okay, keep up. We're going to follow Breaker. He'll get us where we need to be.
Adair nods and follows.
Yeah, Yuey follows as well.
Oh, kind of.
All right.
Adair has to. She thanks Grom for his time, and then.
Sure, no problem. He doesn't look particularly happy, but you know.
Breaker holds out his hand to Elias.
For the orb.
Puts it back in his pouch.
Okay, so you're all making your way to where the horses are stabled, to where Elias and Breaker's horses are stabled, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then Yuey and Adair, I mean, you don't have mounts yourself, so what is your intent here?
We're going to buy them horses at the stables.
Okay.
Yeah, that was what we were hoping for.
Okay, well, we'll see when we get there.
Or I guess, can you rent a horse? Is that a thing?
Not really. There's dispatch riders. You can't really rent a horse. You'll have to buy a horse. I mean, Elias and Breaker, they can probably recall what they paid for their mounts before. Okay, so you start making your way sort of north and west through the slums. The sort of streets in this place are barely paved, kind of potholed and covered with filth. The stench is terrible. There are people stacked upon people in rickety sort of wooden structures. Various disused items are strewn about. Many people lie openly in the streets. Despite the surrounds, the Dominion keeps these poor wretches fed and housed. A worse fate would await them outside of the city. So you make your way through the slums. Is there anything? Who's taking point as you move through these slums?
Probably Breaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Yuey is he's lived in Repertum, but he hasn't really spent a lot of time in the western part, right? So he's unfamiliar with this area.
Okay. So what do you want to roll me, Breaker? Are you just going through these streets, or what are you actually doing? You're just walking openly through these streets?
No, Breaker's. We're trying to sneak around, I think. Although, does it look like there's lots of guard patrols outside the city. Not really.
Oh, you're not sure.
Okay. Through these slums. Like we're trying to pass through back streets and just stay out of the general like main roads.
Yeah,
So
I
unlike
think
we
we
noticed.
should. I'd rather
Not-
move fast than stealthy. And if we're going
Yeah.
through the slums
Yeah.
and stuff, I think we should be okay.
We're
Yeah,
just being
should be okay.
vigilant though for any guards, so then we can dodge them, but probably not being overly suspicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can I get a perception roll from all of you? Dylan,
Sure.
you're saying
Camera.
looking for your phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My phone, I thought it was on charge, but it actually was just dying. So I'm just getting it back on. I will be back.
16 perception from you.
17.
What is this for? Perception.
Just perceptions, please.
4 for me.
Wasn't that a...
Uh,
oh,
Yeah,
was that a critical fail?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, well, Breaker's on point. He got a 17. So you make
And,
your way through. Well, yeah, what did you get, Adair?
also 17.
Oh, that's good. So, okay, so give me your formation. So Breaker's in front. Who's next?
I
think
Yeah, you can be next. I think.
Yeah, Yuey or Adair. I'll take up the rear.
With Tanog.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you both got really... Okay, you scored really well. So as you make your way through the slums outside the city, the streets are quite narrow. So if you do encounter a guard patrol, they're going to be upon you basically before you've got a chance really to react. So you make your way through the slums to the northwest on the outskirts of the city. As you get to the beginning or the outskirts of Charlton, so in this sort of area here, the streets are particularly close. This place is particularly packed with people. There are multi-story wooden structures. It is very claustrophobic. And Breaker and Yuey and Adair, you think you hear the sound of hobnail boots on cobblestones from ahead.
All right. Is there any side alleyways that we could duck into?
There's lots of
Yeah.
side alleyways you can duck
This
into.
way. Does that perception roll also give me insight into any like alleyways that we can maybe use to avoid the patrol?
Okay, so yeah, Breakers, you're on point, and you are very familiar with these sorts of urban surrounds. You can hear a formation marching ahead. It's quite clear. Again, hobnail boots on cobblestones. It's quite loud, and you can hear the shouts of "Make way! Make way!" So you duck into a side alley out the way. You kind of dogleg through the alleyways, and you manage to avoid what you thought was a patrol. You think you're in the all clear. So you make your way to the stables where Elias and Breaker's horses are stabled. So you get to the stables. Is there anything that you would like to do here?
Do they have a couple?
Well, I think you and Adair need horses, right?
Okay. Give me one sec.
Or a donkey? At the price of...
Okay, so the horses that you already own, who are Tickle, Fiddle, and Crana, are all there. They've all been fed. Did you pay up front, Breaker and Elias and Tanok, for the upkeep of your horses?
I don't think we did pay.
Didn't we?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
You told me.
It's been so long.
I don't think we did. Like we've bought food, like we have food for them, but I don't think we paid for them to stay here right now.
Sure.
Hang on. How did Adair get to this place? Surely she would have had some sort of mount. Because she's not from Repertum.
Indeed.
So, before all her belongings got taken, I think she would have had a horse. And I think she would have stored it here.
Okay, make me an intelligence. Actually, make me a wisdom roll
Wisdom roll.
to see if
Damn it.
indeed Adair was wise enough to do such a thing.
Apparently
Unfortunately, she was not. So the upkeep for these beasts, it's going to cost you 6 silver pieces for the upkeep of Tickle and Fiddle and Crowner. your horses. Would you like to purchase horses from this place, Yuey and Adair?
Yes.
I think so, yeah. So can we approach like the stable master and inquire how much 2 horses would be?
Indeed. So horses will set you back. Give me one second. They will set you back 60 silver pieces each.
Yuey turns to Elias and Breaker and says that he doesn't have enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you
As
can
we're
buy a
adventuring
donkey
together,
or a mule.
perhaps. Yeah. But he asks if he could perhaps borrow some money. We're bound to make up the difference in our adventures, I'm sure.
Yeah. How much are you short?
Breaker-
30 silver.
Breaker pulls the purse that Sparrox handed him and just throws it at Yuey.
Oh, tries to catch it.
Dex check.
Yeah, let me do a dex check. -1. Let's see.
Don't roll a 1.
6.
Okay, well, at least you
So yeah,
probably
he like his hand, like the coin purse hits the hand, but he doesn't use 2 spells.
Typical
Stares
academic.
blankly.
But yeah, of course, that bends down and get it.
Okay.
I think this should cover us. And I give her the silver pieces from there.
They do have donkeys and mules, by the way. If you would prefer a donkey or a mule.
What's
No, get a
Would they
horse.
be-
It's a decent investment.
okay?
Yeah, I think Yuey would get a horse.
Let's hope
Okay.
the
I don't know.
DM isn't a horse murderer. Can I also need to borrow some money.
So there would have been
Yeah,
enough.
it's
the
cool.
pouch that the
I
So
think
president-
the
the
pouch
pouch
should
is
have been
50.
50.
Oh, was
yeah,
there
so
only
then-
50? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Enough
yeah.
to cover both of you.
No. Well, we both needed 30, right?
No.
that needed 60.
No.
60.
We each have 30, but we need 30 over and above, so we're 10
Yeah.
short.
So it's 10 short. Yeah. Here you go.
Okay. So we're all dirt poor. Who wants to go hunting for food later?
I vote the druid should do the hunting.
I'm actually kind of keen for that.
So Yuey goes up to Pius. And I guess just pets him. I think that's the horse for me.
So there's Pius and Soterio. So Pius is a cob, a piebald color cob, and Soterio is a Rolian warmblood, sort of a brown color.
Sorry, what was their name?
Soterio,
Soterio.
a
Soterio.
a gelding.
He shall be mine.
Okay, so you go up to Pius and you're petting him. He seems relatively relaxed. He seems quite indifferent. In fact, he starts sniffing your pockets for any food that you might have, because of course horses do that. So he's trying to mug your pockets of any food, but he seems okay.
What time of day is it now? Like approximately?
It's late morning.
Mid-morning.
Mid-morning, I should say.
Should
Can
we
I,
head off straight away?
Hang on. Adair also goes up to Soterio and also checks if he's not going to be full of shit later on, basically.
Okay.
Starts petting him.
Can you both make me an intelligence check, please?
Holy shit.
11.
So Soterio is your horse, right? Adair?
Yes.
Okay. And I mean, they seem absolutely fine.
Wait, but I'm a druid. I have animal handling. Can I not rather check that than intelligence?
Yeah, I mean, do you have animal handling specifically as a skill, as a
Yeah.
thing? Okay, you can roll that. That's fine.
Not much better, but
I mean, you know, to be perfectly honest, Adair, your horse Soteria seems absolutely fine, and Pius seems a little bit. I don't know. Seems a little bit offish. Seems a little bit grouchy, but it's hard to tell with horses.
I keep in mind that I need to find him like an apple or something. But I don't have any rations, I think.
Apparently, with
so-
horses, you blow into their nostril gently and to say hello.
sure.
Are you doing that?
No, I'm
No,
not doing that.
No, no, not taking that advice.
That's just a little life hack if you ever need to say hello to a horse.
Okay, so you're at the stables currently. So, is there anything else that you would like to do here, or is there anything else you'd like to do in the city? Bearing in mind that these guards have sort of the guards have been sort of stationed on the entrances to the city, so it's quite heavily sort of defended. I mean, you could try and make your way back in. If there's any shopping, if there's any items that you think you require, if there's anything else that you would like to do, please do say so.
I think it's best we get moving.
Yeah.
We're just going to get horse rations.
Okay.
How much is the horse feed again?
So we decided on 3 silver pieces every 2 days.
Okay, we're going to need 4, 8.
That's going to be 5 silver pieces now every 2 days, right? Because you've got 5 horses.
Yeah, 5 silvers for every 2 days. We need 8 days. That's too much money. Is it how much per horse?
5 silver pieces every 2 days.
For all of them.
Do we
Yep.
not buy food or anything? Because I remember buying adventuring kits,
Yeah, we do have
like
some.
stocking up everything.
We've got 4 days of horse food each.
Okay,
You and me.
just you and me.
Yeah.
Well, no. So that's been eaten down significantly more than you would have anticipated. Fiddle and Crowner are looking porky.
No, you haven't fed the horses.
How much do we need here? What is
We
it? 5?
need 4 days. We need 8 days per horse.
Okay.
How many of us are there? 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we need 40 days, and it's 5
20 silver
silvers.
pieces in total, right?
Yeah, 20 silvers. Cool. I'll pay it. Done.
Okay. So you load up on horse feed, and you pack it onto your animals. Okay, sure. They're good to go.
How many days worth of horse feed?
We've got 8 days.
8 days.
Yeah, each of us has 8 days of horse food.
And I think now that the horses have food, maybe we can just take a 5-minute break.
Cool.
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 Be right back.